What up, baby? State champ DJ Frosty. I'm in the building with my guy.
What up? What up? It's your boy Malik at Meet Malik Black. Just simply Malik is who I am.
Oh, we rapping? We got bars?
Bars. Boom, 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 boom.
We got bars today. You know what it is. Blazers and boxes where professionalism meet working from the comfort of your own home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt.
And of course, you know, we do fashion too. I'm trying to step my game up, but I got the fashion extraordinaire, Mr. Malik. What are we wearing today, Malik? What we got on?
Yo, today, I'm gonna be honest. Today, speaking of comfort of your own home, so I'm wearing a cardigan, right? And I love cardigan sweaters. You know, we grew up in the South, and a lot of times for us, you know, what we wear coming out of the South, some other African Americans may be like, oh man, you dressing kind of like white or Caucasian, or like, why do you dress like that? And so, right, like that's you know what I mean? So you know, what I'm wearing today is a offshoot of Ralph Lauren polo. He had a label called Rugby. It's about 10, 12 years ago now. It's a vintage piece, but I love this cardigan. I've got a couple of cardigans from Rugby, but this is one of my favorite. It's a varsity style cardigan, and I love it. It's something that I wear around the house. It's something that I wear out. I could dress this up in a button down and a bow tie, and I look like I'm going to a frat boy party, or I just still in the house like this, and it's just casual. And so it's been cold up here in DC, so I like wearing it around the crib.
So let me ask you a question. What was your dress like before you went to college? Because USC changed me. I know when I got to USC, my dad was like, he dressed all preppy and stuff like that. Because when I got to USC, we had to switch the game up for me.
Oh, of course. Yeah, for sure. So it's interesting, right? So my senior year in high school, I got best dressed, right?
Okay.
And so
who knew? All right.
So at the time, my attire was more the early stage of hip hop and baggy. I'll be honest, it wasn't always that. I had a phase where, because my parents were still buying my clothes, all of my clothes fit. So I would try to sag and fit clothes, and it just don't laugh. It's not funny. It's not funny, fam. I would try to sag.
I get it.
I would try to sag and clothes that fit, and it just wouldn't look good, right? So like, actually, and no bullshit, they had jeans that they call Malik pants or Malik jeans, because I was trying to, because what they would see is somebody trying to sag and act like they were in baggy jeans when they weren't, because they were in clothes that fit or tight jeans.
And they coined it Malik jeans?
They call them Maliks. No bullshit.
Malik.
And listen, somebody out there right now is going to watch it from Goose Creek, and they're going to be like, yo, how did he know that? I didn't know he knew that. But like, yeah, that's a real thing. And so they clown me behind my back, but like, my clothes fit, right? So like, you know, going into my senior year of high school, I transferred. I wanted to continue the brand of who I was, but I also wanted to just like not care what everybody else thought. So every now and then I would wear a tie and a button down to school. And my mom gave me some of the best advice ever, Frost. You met my mom, so
love your mom. Love your mom.
So don't do that. Don't do that.
No, I'm just saying, I love your mom.
Like we'll fight. So she said to me, she's like, as a male, you've got an advantage. And she was like, your advantage is you can wear the same pants 2 or 3 times a week. If you change the shirt, nobody will notice that the outfit is shifted. And I was like, yo, that's kind of dope. Like, and I carried that, right? And that was I think I transferred from Stratford High to Goose Creek High from my sophomore to junior year. So my last 2 years in high school, I kind of carried that with me. I finally got my own job atop of my own, some other income earning things that I would do on the side that we won't talk about until another day. And so, you know, I I was able to buy my own
You used
clothes.
to sell dope?
I used to.
Damn. Who knew that?
I used
Malik was a
nobody.
dope boy?
So
Sheesh.
I used to.
Am I the only person that's never sold drugs? My God.
So
I choose to
I
run
was
for president. I see why now. I see why you dropped out of not being running for president. I get it now. I get it.
Facts, 100%. So I was able to start buying my own clothes, and buying my own clothes, I was able to start putting my own kind of style together. And it just worked out in my benefit, where nobody else was dressing like me our senior year at Goose Creek High, and I won best dress. But that was my goal on the onset. No lie, no BS. The summer of my senior year, I said, I want to be best dressed this year. And that's how I went about it. So long story short.
Nice. So let me ask you a question. Because I remember like Aaron Plush, right? Aaron used to be, he used to wear the craziest stuff. He was decked out. I think he won best dressed.
I'm sure.
Did y'all used to compete
in college?
Did you ever look at Aaron as competition in the fashion world?
No, but that's not anything against Plush. Like Plush is my guy. It's not anything against Plush. There were two things. One, Plush was always and is always more extravagant in what he does, right? Whereas for me, it was just, you learned this in school as well as I did. It was KISS, keep it simple, stupid. And so what I tried to do was I tried to keep my style simple, but different from what everybody else was doing. And I wasn't trying to align with the trends. I was trying to be classic. So I have, like I just told you about this cardigan. This cardigan is probably about, if somebody's watching this right now and they Google rugby or the end of rugby, it's about 10 years old, right? Maybe give or take 8 to 10 years. And it still looks like this. And if you see me out in it tomorrow, you'll be like, oh man, that's dope. Where did you get that from? Because it doesn't look as old. It looks like right now Ralph Lauren, because rugby was polo Ralph Lauren. But so I've always tried to find classic attire, things that don't go out of style. If you just wear them appropriately, they're always in style. So I'm never competing against someone because everybody else is thinking fashion versus style. And there's a very, very, very big difference.
Facts. All right. So did you catch some football this weekend? Were you able to see the games?
Oh, yeah. My guy, Joe Cool Burrow, pulled out that win, which was, I expected that. LSU, SEC. I appreciate that. I did expect that.
Okay.
And I did expect Stafford to pull it out too. I didn't necessarily think that it was going to be as competitive as it was, but the San Francisco 49ers defense was great. Deebo Samuels, shout out to University of South Carolina, held it down. He did his thing. I appreciate the emotionalism at the end.
Yeah.
He'll be back, right? But I think it's been a great 2 weeks of NFL. And I think the teams that, should be there are there. I think Kansas City had, some ups and downs this season. And I think while Mahomes is still great and he's still magical, he was still beatable. And I appreciate what Cincinnati did. And I appreciate the story Joe Burrow's creating. I
think this is the best playoffs in the history of the NFL.
Ever. No BS. Yeah. Like last weekend was dope, but like the weekend before that was epic. I agree.
Yeah. And with all the games being that close, any game could have went either way.
What was your favorite game?
I can't lie, that Tom Brady game.
Yeah.
Because
you thought Tom was gonna come back and win the game.
The crazy thing is, I said watch they let Tom Brady and the Bucs come back.
Yeah.
It was the third quarter.
Yeah.
And I just said, watch they let them come back.
Yeah.
And then I start it's late in the fourth quarter, and I was like, they got a touchdown. Then they got another touchdown. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I was like, I said, yo, this was the first time I ever said this. I said, yo, Tom Brady's the GOAT.
Yeah.
I never argue that Tom Brady wasn't the GOAT because he just got so many Super Bowls.
Yeah.
But I was just like, yo, this guy is 44 years old.
Yeah.
Had he made it to the Super Bowl this year, he would have been in every other Super Bowl since he started.
Which is wild.
He's been in 50% of the Super Bowls
since he came in the league.
Wild. He has more Super Bowls than any other franchise. This guy is the GOAT.
Yeah, you can't knock it. You can't knock it.
I tried to hold on for a long time because I'm a huge Peyton Manning fan.
So me and you both. And up until last year, I would refuse to call him the GOAT.
Yeah.
I just called him the unicorn, right? Yeah. Where like, he would just ride off. He would find a way to call the unicorn horse into the stadium and he'd ride off into the sunset because I'm a big Peyton Manning fan. But you got to give it to him, man. Like he just knows how to ball and he knows how to come back.
So now that we officially he's the GOAT, right?
Yep.
Would you rank him all time, all other sports combined? Like Michael Jordan, Tom Brady,
Muhammad Ali.
Yeah. Yeah. Floyd Mayweather. I still like to keep Floyd Mayweather in there. That's just my guy. But they all greats.
They are. And listen, Floyd is great. But Floyd, I'm going to tell you where I think Floyd is going to lose. Floyd is going to lose boxing aficionados.
Yeah, for sure. For me, I don't really care what a lot of people say. But when you watch both of their work, like Muhammad Ali, for him to be a heavyweight and to move like that and to dodge people like that, he was amazing.
It's wild. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah. I think, but Floyd, for me, Floyd is the greatest defensive boxer in the history of boxing,
without a doubt.
Yeah, like you couldn't hit Floyd. It's hard to lose when you can't hit me.
Right.
If you can't hit me or if you constantly miss,
Let me give you my argument for Floyd, and I'm not saying Floyd over Muhammad Ali.
All right, but I'm listening.
But just for him to be in that conversation, let me give you my argument.
I'm listening.
Besides the obvious, how many boxers you know that literally would toy with other boxers just to make it entertaining for the fans, so they would come back and buy more pay-per-view?
Muhammad Ali, that's the only other one.
He's the only one I know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Maybe Sugar Ray Leonard. Maybe.
It may be Roy Jones, but Roy Jones lost.
Roy. Yeah.
Roy used to toy a lot.
Yeah, he did.
But Floyd knew that if he didn't let people hit him sometimes, that people would just think his fights were boring.
Yeah.
You gotta be good, man. Just to like, hey, all right, I'm gonna let this nigga hit me a few times.
Oh, nah. Listen. So the beauty of that is, it's boxing is conditioning and a mindset, right? And the mindset comes from your conditioning. When you know what your body has been through and what it can take, right? At that point, you then change the narrative of what's possible in the ring. Right. Like, I think when Canelo gets into a ring, Canelo knows that I'm out conditioning the person standing across from me. I know that what he's done and what he thinks he's done in his preparation for this fight isn't enough. I think Floyd Mayweather is that guy who has always known that nobody is going to prepare for a fight like me. So therefore, you can't beat me because I already won before we got in the ring. Period.
Plus, I think Floyd is a product of DNA.
That's fair.
Just like Steph, like Steph Curry.
Yeah, I don't disagree
just
with
like
that.
Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
You
It
know,
goes back to one of our earlier conversations.
right.
Sons of fathers who are sports,
Not,
athletes,
but not the greatest, but they were good, right?
but they were good. Yeah,
They
yeah,
were
yeah.
good because
I'm with you.
the greats, their children,
Nah,
they don't really pan out like that.
Listen. I've seen Tiger and his son playing in these matches.
Listen, Tiger might be different because that little boy can play.
He can.
Tiger might be different.
They have the same exact swing, the literal same exact swing.
That boy has studied his dad.
He has
to the T.
Good. He is good.
He is phenomenal.
But listen, let me say this. Let me say this, Frost. Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods isn't Earl Woods. And here's why I say that. Tiger's father, being a black man in America, had to fight and bring his son up in a system that was detrimental to his success. Nor did the system believe that his son would have success. Same thing with, Richard Williams, if you will, the father of Venus and Serena, right? Where It's like bringing your kids up in a space, time, and system where they're not supposed to achieve, they're not expecting them to achieve. When they do achieve, they're not going to believe any of it until they just get to the mile marker where it's like, nobody else is going to ever do this. I don't know that Tiger's got the wherewithal to train his son up like Earl trained him, because Earl brought that boy up right. Let's be honest.
So, and that's where the difference comes from, because the really good guys, the greats, they never really had time to work with their children. But the really good guys, but weren't great, they had time to coach their sons up.
Yeah. I just don't know that. I don't know that Tiger's going to have the patience to work with his son.
When you're that great, you have less sympathy, the highest expectations.
Yeah.
Like, you can literally ruin a relationship because you could. And for some greats, I believe they understand that about themselves. Yeah. Like a Michael Jordan, like a Kobe, nobody would want to play for them because their expectations are too good. They're too crazy.
It's what made them great in the first place. Which is why I don't think we'll ever hear about Tom Brady's son playing quarterback, right? If so, he's going to be quarterback for a team that isn't all that great, maybe a D3 school, and you go from there, right? Like Bronny, I'm going to tell you, Bronny's got a tough road ahead of him because your father is LeBron James, and your father has created a lane and a space in and of himself statistically that by the time he's finished, many of the GOATs of the NBA won't be in his stratosphere statistically. Right. Even though that said, me personally, LeBron is not my greatest player ever. But I respect what he's done. For sure. And statistically, he's been amazing. And Bronny coming up, you're going to have to fight against that, period.
You know who you're going to have to watch out for?
Who?
Is the other son. I'm telling you right now. What's his name? Bryce?
LeBron's other son?
Yeah. What's his name, Bryce? Oh yeah. He's going to listen. He don't look the part. He's going to be the one. He's going to be the one. It's
basketball wise?
I'm telling you right now.
Huh.
He's going to be the one. He's going to be the one. He's going to be the one.
All right. I don't know about that one.
Bronny not going to do it.
I don't think Bronny's going to do either. I don't think Bronny's going to do either. And I've never thought that Bronny's going to do it. Not that I don't think Bronny is good. I just don't think that he's the heir apparent.
When Lonzo Ball was at UCLA, and everybody just kept saying Lonzo and the brothers the whole time, I'm like, yo, it's LaMelo. Y'all look at LaMelo is the one.
Yeah.
He's going to go down in history. He's the one.
Yeah. And Lonzo knew that.
He should have. He should.
Nah, he said that. I mean, he said it in so many words in the sense of the differences in their games. And he's like, the showmanship of LaMelo upstages his game all the time.
Yeah. I mean, you talking about somebody who scored, what, 90 something points in a high school game?
Wild.
Like, it's LaMelo. LaMelo is the one.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild.
Yeah.
LaMelo's got a gift. I'm gonna tell you, I didn't give it to him before he got to the NBA. I thought Anthony Edwards was going to be my rookie of the year because I believe in his style of play.
Anthony Edwards was a beast. Mm-hmm.
He's a beast in his physicality, right? Like, I believe in his athleticism. I think Anthony Edwards is a star of the future, even though, Towns is there right now and he's like the guy. I think Anthony Edwards is a player in the future. Unfortunately, I think Zion is a bust, but I think
bruh.
Don't let the Duke come out. Don't let the Duke come out.
Let me tell you.
Duke come out.
Let me tell you.
I'm listening.
It was Zion and LaMelo. Those two were the high school phenoms. Zion is having trouble adjusting to his man body. He was already a man body. He was already in a man body. Zion is going to demolish the league. Trust me when I tell you this, he's only having issues because he's growing into another part of his development. Like he got to figure out how to control the weight. Plus, he's in New Orleans. So he got to get out of New Orleans. The food is too good. This is the greatest food in the world. And you rehab it?
I'm going to tell you.
Bruh.
I tell people all the time, I have been around the world to many cities. New Orleans is not one of my favorite cities in the country. It's one of my favorite cities in the world. And it's one of my favorite cities in the world because of the culture and the food. The food in New Orleans is next level. Real rap.
It is amazing.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
So Zion, I believe he realizes as well, he got to get up out of New Orleans. He got to go. That's why he's not playing.
Does it get to New York to play with RJ Barrett?
I think that's the plan that they're trying to do. Because Zion only got one more year. And it's no need to trade for him. Just let his contract run out.
Yeah, I agree.
Just let his contract run out.
Yeah, and the Knicks will pick him up. And I actually think by the time that 1 year is up, this next year, right? They pick him up. There's somebody else they could pick up. They could have a squad. And 2 years, they could have a squad.
So if I'm the Knicks, this time next year, I'm trading Julius Randle.
That's kind of wild. That's kind of wild. I don't know that I agree with that.
I don't want Julius Randle and Zion on the same starting five. I don't want that.
Why not?
They basically play the same position. I can get a better piece to surround RJ Barrett, Cam Reddish, and Zion, the Duke boys. Get you some shooting and a good center. I don't need Julius Randle. Let me use Julius Randle to get a better piece to fit this squad. I'm going to let this be RJ and Zion team. Because RJ Barrett, he's coming up. And
but you're going to need a new point. You got an aging Kemba and an aging Derek. You need a new point.
You do. You absolutely do. But if I'm bringing in Zion, guess who I'm letting bring it up?
RJ?
I'm letting Zion bring it up.
He is not Draymond Green. Stop this, man.
Bruh, let me tell you.
Stop, bro.
Malik, let me tell you.
All right.
When New Orleans started winning sometime last year, it was because they started letting Zion play point. Because that's what he played in high school. And that's when they started killing. But then they got hurt again.
Yeah, but I'm not against that in high school, but like
just remember I said it. That's all I asked.
All right.
Just remember I said it.
Yes, right here, right here,
Just
right
remember I
here.
said it.
February 2nd. You said it. I remember that.
Okay, that's all I want to have.
All right, no doubt, no doubt. That's wild, but I hear you out.
Okay, all right. Speaking of New York, another New York got bagged another queen, got her pregnant.
It's wild, Joe. I saw that. You know, the rumor's been filtering around for a minute, and then I saw it today, and I felt deflated.
You felt deflated. You thought
deflated.
you
I
thought you had
felt
a
deflated
chance.
because I thought I had a shot. I had a shot, man. I had a shot. I had a shot, and then she comes out pregnant, and it's just terrible.
Well, for the longest, I was just like, what are you waiting on? Like, A$AP Rocky, you have nothing really going on for you.
Zero.
You have
Zero.
like you
A$AP Rocky is more of a model than a rapper, right? At this point.
Yeah, you do fashion shows. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I'm gonna tell you, I love A$AP Rocky's first album. A$AP Rocky's first album to me is a classic. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think that he's going to come close in making anything like that ever again. And he should just be okay with just being sitting at the house taking care of the kids. I'm okay. He should be okay with that. A$AP Rocky is a hip hop Stedman.
I think he's already okay with it. I really do.
He ain't got no choice.
I think he already found his role.
I agree.
Support my wife. You know, we got to get a down south guy to bag one of these queens, though, man.
Listen, man, I'm gonna tell you, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but you know,
Jay-Z got Beyonce.
Yeah, so you know, he got one of these down south queens. I mean, unfortunately, one of these down south queens got to bag one of these New York, you know, one of these New York queens. I just don't know how it's gonna work out, but A$AP and Rihanna, listen, it makes sense in theory. I don't think it'll last. I just think they'll co-parent.
They've been together a long time, bro.
I think they'll co-parent, bro. Mark my words. I think they'll co-parent. I think Rihanna is too. I think Rihanna's too much about her and what she needs to do in life to like let some guy and a child stop her from, you know, moving forward. And listen, that's not a knock on Rihanna at all. But I do think that she's like, I mean, you know, A$AP's cool. I'm gonna move on. I'm listening. You sound like you want to say something.
I just totally disagree. I just can't even believe what you're saying right now.
I'm saying you gotta give me an awareness and understanding as to why you disagree.
Because women want that. It'd be the dudes messing
They
up.
want what?
They want to be married. They want to be.
Yeah, Rihanna doesn't want to be married. I don't think Rihanna wants to be married. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think she wants to be married. But you got to prove me wrong. I don't think she wants to be married. That's my personal opinion. She had a billionaire that she could have married. She didn't marry him. She had Drake. She didn't marry him.
That was very short-lived. Rihanna and Drake was very short-lived. He messed it up. A$AP Rocky and Rihanna have been like, since like 2013, they've been like off and on a little bit. They've been dating a long time.
I mean, I get you, but it's not gonna work out because I don't think A$AP is mature enough to like manage what's going to happen with Rihanna. Because I think A$AP wants to be the guy to be the dominant figure in the situation, and he's not. She is Rihanna. It's sort of like Jermaine Dupri and Janet Jackson. Was Jermaine Dupri the main figure in that situation or Janet Jackson?
So let me tell you, right?
I'm listening. Hold on, but answer my question first.
It's Janet Jackson.
I bet.
If you watch the documentary,
I hadn't watched it yet.
That's your problem. That's your problem. That's your problem right there. You got to watch this stuff. If you watch the documentary, Janet was ready to have kids with Jermaine. He messed up. He cheated on Janet.
I mean, I'm with you. What's the song? It was I'm trying to get the opening line to Confessions too. Oh damn. Terrible. Listen, but yeah, I'm with you.
The only way they don't get married is if ASAP messes up.
I think ASAP's gonna mess up.
Okay, well, say that. Don't say it's Rihanna. Don't say Rihanna don't want that. Because
Yeah, but I also don't think that Rihanna wants that. I don't think Rihanna wants that. At least
you
not
just
with
think
ASAP.
you just think she wants children out of wedlock. That's what you think.
I don't think she wants children out of wedlock. I think she's cool with children out of wedlock.
Well,
I
I'm
don't
sure
think she
she's cool.
wants it.
So you think she wants to get married?
No.
So then she don't. Then she's cool with having kids out of wedlock.
Hold on. Let me say this. I think that she is cool not being married and having kids out of wedlock, but she'd prefer, like most women, to have a child with their husband.
Right.
I just don't think that ASAP is her husband. I'm just saying. I'm calling it what it is, bro. I'm calling it. I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna just leave it as it is. I think Rihanna has created a lineage of women like herself who are just, out here living for themselves, living for their futures, embodying who they are as women, not caring what that means to a man who wants them for themselves, but can't necessarily understand the gravitas of being with a woman like her. And she's created savages all around the world. And listen, and I appreciate it because women deserve this moment. And I think Rihanna helped to create this moment for women. There are savages all around the world. Thanks to Rihanna. Stand up, Rihanna.
We gotta
you
get
deserve a round of applause.
We gotta get a woman on this podcast. We really do.
I agree. I agree. I don't disagree.
We gotta get, we gonna make that happen soon. Cause
I don't disagree.
You be wild.
And I bet a woman would agree with me and appreciate the fact that I just gave Rihanna credit for creating a generation of savages, because she has, especially with the Savage Fenty shit. Man.
Yeah, but Rihanna Savage wasn't more. It wasn't like a hot girl summer kind of thing.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying?
It was bigger than that. Hot girl summer is momentary.
What I'm saying is that's not what I believe the Savage was for.
I'm listening. You tell me.
I definitely believe, being a savage, is how you curve people. You know what I'm saying? How you can dismiss somebody, how you can not give a fuck, but not for me to be out here wilding per se. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're not in a relationship and I'm just out here dating, yeah, I might give you that savage vibe. I'm fucking savage. But when you're dating, that's not. I don't believe Rihanna was a part of that. That's not what she meant.
I think she meant it. I think she was a part of it. I think she helped to design it, and she's happy about it. I think she feels like she gave women their freedom, and I'm not mad at her for that.
I mean, listen, anything dealing with freedom is different, but I just don't believe Rihanna was on the Megan Thee Stallion wave, the city girl wave. I just don't believe she was on that.
Well, speaking of Megan's, Thanos took away Rihanna, but he gave us Megan Good back because she's now single.
Right.
What you think about that? How you feel about that? I mean, is that the the world righting itself, or you tell me?
From the outside looking at, what I perceive might have happened was that she must have been embarrassing him too many times. Maybe how she was dressed, maybe some PDA.
Because he's a spiritual guy?
Yeah.
Don't do that. I'm a spiritual guy. I love kitty.
You're not spiritual like him, nigga. You a savage too.
I was. Pastor. Listen,
but
listen, and savages. Hold on.
He's walking that life.
Don't do that.
Do you go to church?
What do you mean? Did I?
Do you go to church?
Yes.
Every Sunday.
Yes.
What church you go to?
Currently, I am in search of a new church.
My God.
Nah. Listen.
My God.
You gotta let me. The pandemic. Don't do that. See, Lord.
This is why Malik would have made such a great politician.
No.
He's great.
This is why. See, I'm not gonna tell the world our college story about you and religion. However, no, that's another day. That's another episode. What I will say is this. Now, I'm not gonna do you like that today. I'm gonna do you like that today. What I'll say is this. I did have a church home prior to the pandemic, 2020. The pandemic shifted, I believe, for everyone in the sense of how they entertain their faith and service of God. And so because of virtual programming, hold on, I'm gonna bring it closer to home, right?
Okay, yeah, because we're waiting.
Yeah, Bedside Baptist became a reality through the pandemic, flat out, right? Like you could always get Pastor John K. Jenkins from Glenarden Church, Baptist Church, or First Baptist Church of Glenarden here in Maryland, from the internet live, but like most people prefer to go to church. Hold on. You could always get Pastor Howard Wesley, one of our frat brothers from Duke. Shout out to IZ in the building. And Alfred Street Baptist Church always had a streaming service, but it wasn't until the pandemic that this realm of pastoring and church elevated itself, where Bedside Baptist became the way of congregations. So now I'm like, yeah, maybe I should go to a church closer to home. I'm saying.
All right. So you're literally here trying to tell me you feel like you're as equally yoked as Megan Good's husband. Y'all on the same y'all on that same level of path.
Nah, I'm not saying that, because you know what I'm gonna tell you? I don't know what his path and or faith walk was, because I don't know that brother. And nor will I criticize him. I'll tell you this though. I live in Washington, D.C., but I've watched more of our frat brothers services, Chris Levy Johnson at Northeast Brooklyn Baptist, than I have any pastor here in the region.
Okay.
So what I'm telling you is the faith of most disciplined Christians has expanded, and I bet you the Steve Furnick's and the TD Jakes and the other streaming virtual bishops, pastors, and ministers, their congregations have grown because the pandemic had everybody frozen.
But what does this have to do with you being equally yoked as Megan Good's husband? Like this guy, that's what he's known for.
I wouldn't say I'm more or less than equally yoked than he is. And when I say equally yoked, meaning more or less than spiritually sound, grounded than he is.
Right.
What I'll say is, I believe that Devin has told his story. I believe that Devin has lived his story, and I continually pray that God, blesses him in his future. And that's what I'm gonna stick with. And there's nothing you can say, because I believe that brother is blessed, and he's gonna be favored in the future, regardless of letting that beautiful black queen go.
So why do you believe they didn't work. What is your opinion?
I don't have an opinion. If I'm being honest, I don't have an opinion because
No, we're guesstimating. We're guessing because that's why, yeah. We don't know. We don't have any evidence. But
I'm not.
if you were to assume what was behind their breakup, what would you assume?
I'd assume differences of life paths. You know, one of the things that I think most people fail to realize about marriage when it comes to the faith perspective of marriage is that, you know, people in the church, spiritual people, religious people, you know, they take that whole two becoming one literally. And it's unfair, right? It's unfair because two becoming one is a spiritual thing, but it's not a carnal aspect of marriage. The institution of marriage is literally two people living together under one roof, trying to go and succeed in the same direction, right? I think that a lot of people, man, you about to make me get deep for no reason. So I think that many people pause. I think that many people misconstrue God making the man the head of the house and the woman the helpmeet or the submissive. I think people misconstrue that, and here's why. Two people can't lead an organization. You've never heard of two CEOs. You've never heard of two chairmen of the board. You've never had two COOs. Someone has to take a more dominant position in leadership. Now, here's what I firmly believe. I don't think that always is the man. I think in historical or the precedence of mankind, the written history of humanity would have you to believe that the male is always the most dominant. I don't think that's always the case. I just think that there's always a precipice for someone to lead the charge forward. In your case about Megan and Devin, I think that probably at some point something shifted. And what shifted was one's needs wasn't being met by the other. And it isn't always sexual. Most of the time, it's actually something that triggers and or meets the 5 love languages, whether it's quality time, words of affirmation, acts of kindness, physical touch. Like, I think that people fail to realize that, like, when two people get married, it isn't always something that's going to mesh forever. It's tough being like with someone at all times in the same scenario at all times, hoping to achieve happiness. You can't give someone happiness. You can't.
Right. I'll be the first person to tell you that I don't know why they left. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But my whole point in this is from what you said. And for example, right? Let's say they separated because of that, because they weren't, like, he just couldn't take not being on the same path.
All right.
Have you ever left a young lady for not being equally yoked in the spiritual world as you?
I won't say I've ever left a woman for not being equally yoked, but I will say I have not given a woman chances for not being equally yoked. So, like, I wasn't in a relationship and walked away because she wasn't equally yoked, but I have denied a woman an opportunity to get to know me or be significant in my life because she wasn't unequally yoked on multiple occasions.
And so what did that mean? Like, what was she not? It was because she was not spiritual yet? Was she wasn't going to church? What was the deal breaker?
So let's address the first thing that you said, because she wasn't spiritual yet. I don't think there's a spiritual yet. You're either spiritual or you're not. And I don't believe in um forcing someone to be something that they don't want to be. I was in a relationship with someone that they would go to church with me on a regular basis. On a regular basis, but they had zero connectivity spiritually or faith-wise. Forget religious, just spiritually. They went to church with me every day. I mean, every week, and lacked the capacity to build a relationship spiritually. So in those instances, I believe that, yeah, there are times where like everyone's not going to be on the same page, and that's okay. You just have to accept that. And if you accept that, then you can adjust. But if you don't accept that, then you try to force round pegs into square holes, and that's where we lose each other.
So Malik, do you believe I'm spiritual?
Oh man, we about to get deep.
No, we gotta go, because you said there's no spiritual yet. You can't get spiritual. This is something you said. So you're trying to say you don't think of me as a spiritual person?
I do, but I'll also tell you that
keep it a buck, Malik.
I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Keep it a buck. I can take it.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I will tell you that where you are spiritually now, I didn't see that coming, and I saw it. I used to hear it a little bit more before your wedding. I saw it more on your wedding day, and the conversations we had in and around your wedding. I didn't see it before that. I heard tidbits of it before that. But you got to remember, America, you got to understand this. DJ Frosty and I have known each other for 20 years plus. Like, this ain't a new friendship. This ain't us just getting to know each other 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Like, we've known each other for a long time. So like, he knows things about me. I know things about him. Like, I didn't see this version of DJ Frosty happening. Am I excited about it? Yes. I didn't see, history wouldn't have notated this for me.
So there can be a spiritual yet.
There can.
Okay, okay, finish. But let me hear it.
But it wasn't a but.
I saw a but.
I stopped because you have been, for me, you have been a testimony, as the Black folks in the church would say. And the testimony is that if you wait a while and allow God to work in someone's life, they themselves have to come in contact with him spiritually for them to understand what he or his resolve is in their life. I'm gonna tell you, I don't think that Devin and Megan broke up over anything spiritually. I honestly think that regardless of how much I know about Megan, I don't know much about her at all. I don't know much about Devin Franklin at all. Right. But I wouldn't say that the spiritual aspect of it all was the downfall. If it comes out that it was, it means that he was trying to grow his ministry and she wasn't trying to grow that fast or that to that level, because ministry is a real thing and you got to be in it for the walk. You know this. My mother is a pastor. It is a life that I grew up in. So I've seen it. I know it. I know what it looks like. So it's a different kind of context. So if religion or faith was the thing, it was because she just couldn't meet him where he was trying to grow. And that's not her fault.
Or she couldn't take it.
Take what?
You know, a lot of people with the cloth, they're judging, or they can be judgy, or they
Facts.
can be.
That's a fact.
Or they can be two-faced.
That's a fact. Let me ask you this.
One way in public,
yeah,
one way in private.
yeah.
And they could be this angel in public and a demon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's
that's 100.
It's
so
all
let me ask you
speculation.
this.
It's all
So
speculation.
let me ask you this. It's a twofold question. One, do you think that I ever judged you based on where you were spiritually? And do you think that I'm a two-faced Christian?
Well, I definitely don't believe you're a two-faced Christian. I don't think you in it that deep. You know. Have you ever judged me? I don't know. But I'm sure you prayed for me.
That's 100%. That's real. That's that. I get that. I get that.
You know, at the time when I was, you know, having thoughts, you know, I mean, I could, you know, when you think like that, you could care less what somebody thinks of you. So I just never, I never even thought about somebody trying to judge me. Just wasn't important. That's just not important to me. I would, you know, but there's things that are happening in your life, that'll make you realize that there is, you know, and I've been there. I've had that, you know, like I know whatever God is, I know that there's a God. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna tell you,
You know,
man, your reception speech brought me to tears for bigger reasons than what was obvious at the time. Because I've known you so long, it was more so about the fact that I heard you address and reference God in ways that I've never heard in my life before from you. And I think that even if in our whole line and our friend experience, if we go down our line, we'll see some of the shifts in our LBs from Rodney. Alan Brown has always been spiritual religious.
mm-hmm.
Eric has always been spiritual religious. But I bet if you talk to a Bernard and a Steve and a Deuce and a Calvin, and even a Carlton, like I think you'd find Hayward. I think you'd find people that have encountered God uniquely through their lives in ways that we would have never expected. But I'll tell you, man, I was shocked. And I think about your speech at your reception more ways than not, because it resonated with me where I am today and what your prayers were for your family, even when you didn't know that you were praying for the family you have now. And that's some real shit.
Facts.
Yeah.
It's, you know, some things we're going to talk about next week, but, you know, one thing something I thought about, right? After my brother passed away, and you know, my Chantel was asking me one day. She was just like, you're not taking this as bad as I thought you would. You know, months after, you know, because I still have conversations with my mom. We talk about it. You know, she cries sometimes, and for me, it was like, it might look that way, and it kind of is a little bit. Not saying like I didn't take it hard because but that was my second brother I lost. But the difference I'm not gonna say the difference between me and my mom, but one of the main things is I have y'all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like y'all the reason I didn't go maybe into some full-blown depression. I got 3 kids and a wife. Like I got people here with me.
Yeah.
that helped me through it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like with my mom, like
she look around and it's
that's her
just
second.
her.
It's just her right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's real.
So, but anyway, you know,
we'll talk about that on the next episode, because we should definitely talk to that, because as your brother, and that term between us is not figurative, it's literal and technical at this point. Our families are intertwined, our mothers know us, all of this, our siblings, all this stuff, right? And so I understand, while I lived through each one with you, I understand Chantel's perspective, because if you don't know you and having seen you the whole time, you just don't know what's happening underneath the surface of what's going on with you. So I get that completely. I do get that.
Yeah. So let's move on. We got some new music, right? It's some new bars.
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 All right.
J. Cole, Brady the Butcher, got a new song called Johnny P's Caddy. I got to figure out that reference, but
you listen, it's an old school reference. Johnny P is any uncle in the South, in New York, in the Midwest, and he had a caddy. But let me ask you this: have you listened to this track?
I've only had a chance to listen to it once. And it was, you know, when you listen to a track where it's so lyrical, you got to go back and listen again to catch everything. But I will say this. I remember when people was always comparing J. Cole, Kendrick, and who else? Who's the third person?
Drake.
I always had J. Cole as third.
Okay.
I don't have him third no more.
My man.
And
so
he's
I'm
not,
gonna tell you something.
And he's not number 2.
I'm gonna tell you something. And this is 85 South is my hip hop album of the year for the Grammys. That's my personal opinion. I say that also as a Benny the Butcher fan. And when I say I'm a fan, I'm a fan. And I'm a fan in the way that he is this generation's Jay-Z. Whether he lives up to that status or not is different. But I think that he's the person that's giving bars that are as authentic and truthful as possible in real time.
This generation's Jay-Z.
I do. I think that Benny the Butcher is, and it goes beyond his gangster euphemisms and his thought process from a street perspective. It's really about his wordplay and how he makes them interchangeable into real life perspective. Beyond that, Benny the Butcher is right now my favorite rapper. Okay. Literally, no BS, my favorite rapper.
Okay, I still got to get
this verse. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this verse from J. Cole is why I feel it separates him from everyone else. And I believe that there are 2 lyrical geniuses in this generation of hip hop that should be spoken about. And it's no disrespect to Drake, but it's just an honest observation. It is J. Cole and Kendrick. And if those 2, and listen, I think Drake and Kanye entertain the hell out of us. I think they give us bars that make hip hop epic. But I think Kendrick and J. Cole, they take the English language and they wrap it up, they turn it around, and they put it into a pretzel, and then they tell you to figure it out. This J. Cole verse on John P's Caddy is ridiculous. And I love it.
No, they were sparring on that record.
They were. I agree.
I've been hearing about Benny the Butcher for, a couple years now. But when you in the South, you don't really hear a whole lot. Like, I still don't know who's all this with this Griselda. You know what I'm saying? Like, you hear the New York guys talk
That's
about
fair.
Griselda all the time,
That's
but I'm
fair. That's
like,
fair.
who's all part of the Griselda? Like, who's, you know what I'm saying? But
That's fair. That's fair.
um,
It's
but
like, isn't Earl the sweatshirt with a TDE?
probably,
Yeah, but like most people wouldn't know that, right? Like I'm trying to. I think he is. I'm not sure, but like, who is with TDE, right? Like it's the same difference. So I'm with you.
yeah.
I'm co-signing.
But needless, needless to say, make sure y'all check that record out and let me know what y'all think about J. Cole bars. Cause
Yeah, please do
put
sound
in the
off.
comments.
Sound off in the comments about that J. Cole clip, because like I want to hear what y'all think about that verse, because he lit cats up, and I don't know. Kendrick's got to drop something that's gonna be super epic.
Yeah, Kendrick to me is he's starting to become a little too Andre 3000-ish. I need him to drop a little more often for me.
Yeah, I feel you. I get that.
Yeah, like, because it's like, hey, I put out 2 classic albums. I ain't gotta do nothing else. Like, nah, you still need to put in a little work for me. You know what I'm saying? Don't just ride on these 2. J. Cole has continuously been putting out work, and it's been all quality, nothing but quality.
So, Kendrick got was it a poet laureate? What was he got a huge, it's something akin to the Nobel Peace Prize, but it was like it wasn't a Nobel Peace Prize, but it was like one of those large, most significant awards. And I sent out to my thread of boys, and I said, this is what happens when white people assimilate to hip hop. Because if you and I start thinking about the albums that should be Nobel laureates, Kendrick wouldn't be the first album.
Say what?
Kendrick, if let's say, I can't remember what it was, and I can Google it right quick. Kendrick won for, I think, Damn. Hold on, let me Google this right quick. Kendrick is a rapper. Where are your Wikipedia? Let's see if I can get this really quickly. But he won an award that was sort of like, and it was for Damn. It wasn't even for Pimp a Butterfly. It wasn't for Untitled. It was for Damn. He won a Pulitzer Prize. That's it. He won a Pulitzer Prize, and I think it was for Damn. And I'm like, I know several hip hop albums prior to Damn, several hip hop artists prior to Damn that should have Pulitzer Prizes if we're going to give Damn a Pulitzer Prize. And it's not to take away from Damn. It's just to say, Damn only got that. It ain't the first, like what? It's like when people say, oh my God, Barack Obama is so amazing. Like, listen, I'm grateful for Barack Obama. Barack Obama is amazing. There are many people that you and I know that thought that I was supposed to be Barack Obama. But it's like, Barack isn't a lightning in a glass. Kendrick isn't lightning in a bottle either. We got to stop letting other communities and other awards and other people celebrate our culture in a way. And so many people have said this, and I echo them, and I'm standing on their shoulders right now. But it's like, Damn is great, but like, there's been a lot of hip hop albums that probably should deserve a Pulitzer. So why Damn and not those?
Well, I don't know how it works exactly, but for the benefit of the doubt, right?
Yep.
A lot of those things you have to submit, like the Grammys. Like people were like, oh, this person never won a Grammy, but you got to actually submit your work to be considered for a Grammy.
Yep.
And so I'm just wondering if he's one of the first people to ever submit a song or whatever.
Yeah,
to win a Pulitzer.
And you say to yourself, why wouldn't other rappers do that? And it's like,
it's like, well, because he was smart enough to think about it.
Yeah. I mean, listen,
he believed
Damn
in
was
his
a great
bars.
album. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Have you seen this thing with Whoopi Goldberg? Have you been paying attention to her, The View?
I saw the headline, but I didn't understand it. What happened?
So basically, Whoopi was on. First of all, message to all Black people: never talk about the Holocaust. Just don't do it.
Oh nah.
Just don't do it. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
But she was on The View and she said that the Holocaust wasn't about race. And so, they just, that just lit up a whole firestorm. But she apologized for it, blah, blah, blah. Two things. I get why she said it. Even though she's not necessarily right, I get why she said it, or at least why she thought it.
Okay.
And she thought it because she looked at Jews more of as a religion versus a race.
Yep. That's fair.
And she's not 100% wrong, but she's not right either. Because in that world, you have a lot of different variations of Jews.
Yeah.
But you also have a big concentration of Jews that were kind of like the same race. Like you're talking about the Middle East.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I encourage everybody, I really do. I really encourage everybody to look up and find out what happened with the Jews for 1,000 years.
Yeah,
it is crazy. I saw a couple videos on it, and they was literally running for their lives, moving from country to country for asylum. Like people were trying to kill them.
Yep.
For 1,000 years. 1,000. And so, with the Holocaust, Hitler, he just had this belief in the superior race with blonde hair, blue eyes. And if you wasn't that, we're going to try to take you out. So in a sense, it was about race. But I get why Whoopi thought that, because we look at Jews as just more of a religion than a race.
Yep.
And so, but they suspended her for 2 weeks for that.
I was going to say, what was the result? So 2 weeks suspension.
2 weeks suspension. And the lady who suspended her basically said, you need to take a break and learn about this and that before you come back.
Does this feel a little eerily like Nick Cannon?
A lot. A whole lot, because listen, I'm Team Farrakhan all day, and I don't care what nobody say.
Right.
I have some white friends that tell me all the time that how divisive, Farrakhan is, and, he's a racist and blah, blah. I was like, show me a clip that makes you think Farrakhan's racist, right? Farrakhan is one of our leaders who wants us to know that there is an enemy.
Yeah.
And we can pretend that there's not an enemy all day, but Farrakhan is not somebody who's going to pretend.
Yeah.
There is a group, there's a segment of the population that do not want us here, that don't like us being here, that don't feel like we should be here, that feel like we don't deserve anything.
Yeah.
So with Nick Cannon, I forgot exactly what he said.
I can't remember either.
But because he was saying that Black people was the original Hebrew, something like that.
Original Hebrews, the Israelites, something like that.
Were we not? You know, I saw somebody say, and this is why education is important. I saw somebody say there's no such thing as ancient Egypt. You know why? Because it was called Kemet. Kemet was where the Africans were. And the Middle East, they invaded Kemet and they chopped off the noses. They did all of these things to wipe out our history. And they have us thinking today that Egyptians look like this. Well, yeah, Egyptians do look like this, but not the people of Kemet.
Right.
When people look at, I saw an article today about what Australians think of Americans, and I have to agree with it somewhat. That we're loud and we think way highly of ourselves versus the rest of the world, right? But I do wonder if y'all realize y'all come from the same place. Like y'all literally left England and invaded Australia, just like you did America. And you did genocide over there to the darker, what you call the natives over there in Australia?
In Australia?
Yeah. What are they called? You know, the Aborigines, right?
Yeah.
Aborigines.
Yeah.
Y'all tried to wipe out the Aborigines.
Yeah.
And y'all named it Australia. Because I always wondered, I was like, if you ever look at a globe and you look at where Australia is, it ain't no white people over there.
Nah.
You got like China, you got like Vietnam.
It's the farthest end of the spectrum, and why were dark colored people there?
So it's like, how did white people get here? That's what made me look it up. Like, how did y'all see what this is on the map, on the globe? They invaded just like they did America. So y'all all come from England. Y'all come from Great Britain. It's the same people. But y'all look at each other like y'all different.
It's wild, bro. And I'll tell you, there's so many varying levels of understanding and perspective, but it's always more so about education.
Got it. Got to do it.
You got to do it. You can't necessarily listen to what everybody's telling you. You got to go do the research on your own. You got to find the answers for yourself. And you know, I'm sorry that Whoopi's going through what she's going through. You know, unfortunately, the way we live in society, and this is not me taking one side or the other, it's just me saying, unfortunately, in society, what we've always got to realize is that unless you own something, and this is why ownership is so important, unless you own something, what you say and or do can always come back to haunt you. And listen, Donald Trump is out there talking crazy and saying some of the most insane things ever. But because he owns the own rights to his vision, brand, and everything else, he can say whatever he wants. And nobody's even questioning it, including the people and some of the people that know for a fact he's just dead set wrong.
Right.
But they're just not going to say anything against him. And so that's an importance about ownership.
He's a representation of a segment of America that they will wipe off. They will take you out.
Yeah.
If you're part of that other side, they don't care. They don't care about what you do when it's for this side. But the Republicans are a perfect example. It's like if you do anything that helps this side,
oh yeah,
they're going to ostracize you. They're going to get you up out of there.
Out of there. Yep.
And so it's just like what happened with Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, John F. Kennedy. They will take you out.
Facts.
So,
facts.
Yeah, It's been a long episode, man.
We could do this. You know
Yeah.
this. We could do this all night.
Yeah.
We got some more to talk about. There's a couple of things that we talked about tonight that we should we're
gonna
gonna carry over
address.
to the next episode. We're gonna address, but you know, I rock with this episode because it was deep. It was a lot that we covered, and I rock with it.